Joining us right now, our buddy Larry Kudlow. Of course, you hear him every weekend here on WMAL. Larry, thanks for joining us today. Oh, Larry, you there?
I'm still here.
Oh, hey, Larry.
I'm still part of CNBC.
And CNBC senior contributor, of course. I'm sorry. You know, we mix it up once in a while.
Good morning, fellas.
Hey, listen, I read your article at National Review Online this week about Charles Koch. You know, the Koch, it's remarkable to me how the Koch brothers have been demonized by Senator Harry Reid and other senators standing on the floor. They've singled these guys out because they happen to be politically active, and they use the money that they made legally and fair and square here in America, and they want to advance a political idea. I don't understand what's wrong with that. Talk to me about this great op-ed that Charles Koch wrote for the Wall Street Journal.
Well, it was a great op-ed, and it was an op-ed about freedom, about free market capitalism, and about removing obstacles to economic growth.
Well, no wonder Harry Reid hates it.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the antithesis of Harry Reid, and, you know, the basic argument is that bigger and bigger government is becoming a collectivist government. He didn't use the word socialist. He used the word collectivist. And basically, tax policy, spending policy, regulatory policy is taking over. You know, they're telling you can't run your life. We can run it for you. And the only thing I did that Charles Koch didn't do is I linked it as much as I could to the latest economic data, which show we're still in a very sluggish, subpar, tepid economic recovery. In fact, the jobs report on Friday is the worst. It gives us now the worst jobs record in a so-called recovery since 1939, when the data was first kept by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And I also, frankly, mark it up to another great tax and regulation, and that is Obamacare. I think Obamacare has thrown a wet blanket over business investment and over hiring. And I think that has a lot to do with the poor jobs performance. And by the way, it's showing up in the stock market. Look, the stock market didn't like the jobs report. Net, okay? The sell-off on Friday and the sell-off yesterday was mostly about growth stocks, including tech, and bank stocks, which is also a growth stock. Now, Charles Koch is not a stock market prognosticator, but what he's saying is the big policy picture is inimical to growth and job creating. That's the point. And by the way, he is completely consistent, right? What did he say? One of those paragraphs, he said, you know, we are opposed to crony capitalism. We are opposed to protectionist tariffs. We are opposed to ethanol subsidies. Even when some of that crap might actually help Koch Industries, we don't like it. And I think that, you know, is really consistent and is a great point. And that's why I wrote it up, and I hope a lot of people defend Koch.
When you start
By the way, they're fabulous philanthropists. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions of dollars of Koch money, Charles and David and the other members of the family, hundreds of millions of dollars have been given to hospitals and museums and schools and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
And there's old Harry Reid, who's how much money did he give his daughter from his election campaigns? Did I miss that?
Right.
Yes.
One tranche was about $17,000 and another $35,000. The guy's a crook and should be under investigation, but he uses his power from the well of the House, the Senate, to guard against libel settings and investigations. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Every time I hear the attacks against the Koch brothers, that's when I want to go, George Soros. Soros.
Right.
All right.
But by the way, I'm not aware that Soros broke any campaign laws.
No.
I don't want to defend Soros's philosophy. I disagree with him. He's
Right.
left liberal. But I'm just saying these guys are all playing within the rules.
Yep,
The
they are.
Democrats have their big shots. Republicans have big shots. And who the hell heard of the Kochs anyway? I mean, let's be serious. You think this is going to be a serious election issue? I doubt it.
The president today is going to talk about how women need to be paid the same amount as men. And he points out that he believes that women make 77 cents on the dollar for men. Is that an accurate statistic?
No, it's never been accurate because numbers like that have to be adjusted for different skills, different levels of education, things like parental leave, pregnancy leave, and so forth. And when they are adjusted properly, Actually, some people have found women have made greater advances than men in the last 10, 20 years. The White House itself seems to be a wee bit short on women. That's an embarrassment for them. I don't know all the facts and figures here, but this Lilly Ledbetter stuff and equal pay, this has been around for a long, long time. And
Well, what's the motivation then?
oh, it's just trying to rally the base. You know, the war. The Republicans are waging war against women, quote unquote, and they're just trying to rally the base. They'll do anything not to talk about Obamacare and this tepid economy. Let me just say, too, another point here is the Republicans have got to mount up a message of economic growth, of job creation and economic growth and business investment. Because, look, this economy is going nowhere, all right? It's at best 2.5%. And these jobs numbers, they're about 8 million jobs short of where they should be at this stage of the so-called recovery. And as I say, there's virtually no business investment. So it isn't just Obamacare that's a problem here. It's a jobs problem and an economic problem. Only 58% of the workforce is working. The GOP I don't want them to stop on Obamacare because it's very deeply flawed, but I think they have got to make sure they have a clear economic growth message and one that reaches into the middle class. I wrote a piece on that a couple of weeks ago.
Larry Kudlow, I've only got 30 seconds, but I'd love for you to chime in really quickly on this Mozilla CEO thing. It's not about same-sex marriage. The bigger question is, are there other CEOs that might start getting worried if they start digging into political contributions they've made over the past several years?
Maybe. Look, hell, I agree with the left-winger Bill Maher. There's a gay mafia that goes out to shoot down anybody who departs from the liberal line. I mean, this poor guy. In 2008, Obama was against gay marriage, for heaven's sake.
Yeah.
And everybody in this country should have a right of freedom of expression and freedom of speech. He gave $1,000 in 2008, and for this he was forced to resign.
Right.
This is the nuttiest thing I ever heard of.
Well, we're
Nutty. Absolutely crazy. I wish this guy had fought it. That's the thing. I wish he had
Me
fought
too.
it.
Thanks,